In the previous class, we have discussed about the Hello World program in C. You guys already know that I have started a new series on C, in which I am going to discuss both C and C in a theoretical way and also in a practical way using some programs. Okay. In the previous class, we have discussed about the C introduction and the syntax are related to the C in the theoretical part. Coming to practical part, we have discussed about the Hello World program in C. Okay. I am AK. Okay. My channel is AK Applogics. Okay. Yeah. So without any delay, I'm going to start this video. In this today's class, we are going to discuss the practical part. Okay. This is the program number 2, which is related to the even or odd number. Okay. We have to check the given number whether it is a even number or an odd number. Okay. For that, first we need to understand the what is meant by even number and also what is meant by odd number. Let us see. Okay. Even number. What is meant by even number? A number is said to be even if it is completely divisible by 2. Okay. A number will be said to be an even number if it is completely divisible by 2. Okay. Or in other words, we can say that if a number is divided by 2 leaves a remainder of 0, then it is said to be even number. Okay. If a number is divided by 2 and leaves remainder 0, means it is said to be completely divisible by 2, right? So that we call that number as a even number. Okay. Example 36 and 24. Okay. So let me show you how these numbers are treated as even numbers. Yeah. So what is the number? Number is 36 and 24, right? So these numbers are even numbers. Why these numbers are treated as even numbers means when you are going to divide this number by 2 table, okay, 2 ones are 2, right? 2 ones are 2, and we will get the remainder as 1. Sorry, yeah, 1. And then this 6 will be coming down. Okay, this 6 will be coming down, and it will be become 16. 2 8 is 16, right? 2 8 is 16. 2 8 is 16. We got the remainder as 0. Okay, we got the remainder as 0. Okay, this particular 2 will be called as divisor, and 36 will be called as dividend, and 18 will be called as quotient, and the 0 will be called as remainder. Okay, when we are going to divide the 36 with 2, we got the remainder as 0, so that we are going to say that the number is completely divisible by 2 without any decimal points. Okay, so that we can able to say that this particular number 36 is a even number. Okay, similarly if you are going to check with the 24, when it is divisible by 2, we get the remainder 0. 2 ones are 2, right? 2 ones are 2 and 0, and 4 will be coming to down. 4 will be coming to down, and 2 2s are 4, right? 2 2s are 4. 4 minus 4 will be 0, so that we can able to say that 24 is completely divisible by 2. Okay, so that we can able to say that 24 is a even number. So like this we are going to say that in number will be a even number and also number will be a odd number. So far we have discussed about the even number. Now let us discuss about the odd number. What is meant by odd number? Odd number is nothing but the opposite to the even number. Okay, yeah, odd number. A number is said to be odd number. Sorry, yeah, I will change it. Okay, odd number if it is not completely divisible by 2. In other words, if a number is divided by 2 and leaves remainder 1, okay, then it is said to be odd number. Okay, whenever we are going to divide a number with 2, we can get either remainder as 0 or remainder as 1. If you are going to get the remainder as 0, then it will be treated as an even number, and we can able to say that particular number is completely divisible by 2. And if you are going to get the remainder as 1, then we can able to treat that number as a odd number, and it is not completely divisible by 2. Okay, yeah, so that's it. That's the theoretical part. Let us see the example. Let me change this. I just copied it. Yeah, for example, if you are going to see the odd numbers example, 21 and 15, for example, 21 and 15, if you are going to take the example, so you can take any number. Okay, 21 and 15. Okay, so let me prove these numbers as a odd number for you. Just a second, let me clear everything. Yeah, let us take where is this? Sorry. Yeah, 21. When it is divided by 2, let us see what happens. 2 ones are 2, and you will get 0, and this 1 will be coming to down. Okay, 1. Okay, now 2 ones are 2, 0, 1. Okay, yeah. Now what you need to do is sorry, 2 tens are 20. Okay, 2 tens are 20, 2 tens are 20, you got the remainder 1. Okay, you got the remainder 1. Okay, now if you put point and you just put the 0 over here, 2 5s are 10, then you will get remainder 0. But this is the not the case. Okay, why? Because we are getting the quotient in the remainder. In the previous case, if you are going to see there is no quotient in the quotient in the decimal point. Okay, you are getting the quotient in the decimal point, so it is the not a case. Okay, you shouldn't get the quotient in the decimal point. Okay, so you should stop the process from here itself. You shouldn't do this part. Okay, if you do this part, you are getting the quotient as decimal point. Okay, you should stop the process from here. Then you need to say that remainder is 1. Okay, remainder is 1. Okay, we got the remainder is 1, so we can able to say that it is not completely divisible by 21 is not completely divisible by 2, and we can say that 21 is a odd number. So yeah, let us see the case for the 15. Similarly, 15, if you are going to take it, when you are going to divide this 15 number with 2 7s are 14, then you will get the remainder as 1. Okay, you need to stop from here. Okay, why? Because the remainder value is less than the divisor value. Whenever the remainder value is less than the divisor value, you need to stop the division. Okay, if you are going to further continuing, then also we can do the division, but the quotient will be in the points. Okay, before the quotient there should be no points in the quotient, and also you need to remember that whenever the remainder value is less than the divisor, you need to stop the division. Okay, this is the division rule. Yeah, so I have proved that 24 and 36 as even numbers, and also I have proved that 21 and 15 as odd numbers. Okay, let us now, what we have done is, now we have completed the theoretical part related to the code to check the given number is even or odd. Okay, now what we are going to do is to do this program the 3 different methods. The first method is using the if else and modulus operator. Okay, using if else and modulus operator, using if else condition and modulus operator. Modulus operator is nothing but the remainder. Okay, to get the remainder we use the modulus operator. Don't worry, I am going to discuss everything in detail. To using any method, you need to remember some set of steps. First, you need to take the integer to be checked as input. Okay, you need to ask the user to enter the integer to which he have to check the even or odd condition, and then find the remainder of the integer that is given by the user by dividing it with 2. Use if else statement to check whether the remainder is equal to 0 or not. Print the output and then exit. exit in the sense return 0. Okay, so for any method you need to use this you need to approach this method. So let me discuss the code. Yeah, using the if else and modulus operator, how we are going to write the program is, first you need to declare the give the preprocessor directive. We need to include the stdio.h library to use the scanf and printf function. We must use scanf and printf function in this code. Okay, and then what you need to do is you need to use the main function int main, where the program starts. The program execution will be started from the main function itself. So we are going to use the main function and its type is int. And then you need to declare a number. Okay, the number is nothing but the number that you need to check even or odd. Okay, for that you need to give a number which is of type integer. Okay, we are going to check for the integer numbers only. Okay, we are not going to check for the float numbers. So we have taken the type as int. And then we need to use a statement, print statement, for the uh, for someone who are going to see your code. It should be understandable to them as well, or else when you are going to see your own program after several years, it is also need to understand by you also. So that you need to use this type of statements in between the code. Okay, even though these are not the logic for the code, but also you need to use to make it visible, neat and good. So that we are going to use a statement which just what does this statement do is it just print the enter a number in the terminal window. Okay, it doesn't do anything. After that, what you need to do is you need to use the scanf function. Okay, you need to use the scanf function. Scanf has two uh, parameters needed to be included in it. One is the format specifier, that is %d, and then the second is the reference operator of the variable. Okay, it means ampersand number means nothing but the you have created a number variable, right? So this particular number variable will be associated to a location in the memory. Okay, to call that location, what you need to do is in front of the in front of the in front of the variable name, you need to specify the ampersand number then refers to the location of that variable in the memory. Okay, so that in that memory, whatever you are going to ask by the whatever you are going to ask to the user, when the user enters a value, that particular value will be stored in that location. Okay, then you are going to use it in the program. Okay, understood? Okay, why we are going to use the %d is for integer. You need to use the %d format specifier. Okay, next, now we are going to check the logic. Okay, we have taken the number from the integer, number from the user. Now what we are going to do is we are now going to use a if else condition, in which we are going to use the first if condition. In the parentheses we need to specify the condition, that is number %2 equal to 0. Okay, number %2 equal to 0 means percentile means remainder. Okay, for the number which is given by the user using the scanf function, you must divide the number by 2, and then you need to get the remainder value, and you are going to compare the remainder value with 0. If it is equal to 0, then you need to print the statement in the if body. You need to print the statement in the if body, that is %d is a even number comma number. Okay, what does this do is %d is a format specifier. Okay, is a even number, is a text that is going to print on the terminal, and then comma, we have used the %d, right? Okay, for that you need to give a value or a variable. Okay, so I have mentioned number. Okay, for example, if our number is a 2, then 2%2 will be 0, then it will come into the if block. Then what does the printf statement will be printed as 2 is a even number. Okay, next, else else in the sense, if it is not, if block is wrong, if if block if block condition is true, then if block will be executed, then else block won't executed. If block is wrong, then it will enter into the else block. Okay, in else block you need not to specify any condition. Okay, other than the if block condition, all are treated as a else block condition. Okay, so that other than even number there will be odd number, right? So we are going to use the printf percentage d is a odd number, where percentage d is a format specifier to call that number. Okay, so that only we have used the number. Okay, here we have used the number by putting this comma. We have given the number parameter. Okay, this number will be printed in percentage d place. Okay, that's the meaning of the format specifier of the integer. Okay, and then after you need to use the return 0. Return 0 will exit the exit the program, that is nothing but the exit statement. After any statement that you are going to write after the return 0, it won't execute. Okay, okay, let me show you an output and then discuss. You need to run these two statements to get the output, 1 and then 2. Okay, okay, enter a number is printed. It means our program is right now, our program came up near here, and then we have a scanf. Okay, we need to enter a number, so I am going to enter a number. For example, I am going to enter an even number, that is 42. So let us see what happens. Now what will happen is, this particular 42 will be divided by 2 and we will get the remainder as 0, right? Why? Because we already know that 42 is a even number, and then what it need to be printed is 42 is a even number in the output. See, you can see that 42 is a even number. For suppose if I am going to give the odd number, for example 55, then what happens is 55 is a odd number. Why? Because 55 will be divided by 2 and whose remainder will be 1. It is not equal to 0, right? 1 not equal to 0. It means if condition is false, so that if block won't execute, it will move to the else block and then print the 55 is a odd number. This is how this program works. This is how we are going to write the program for the even or odd, to check a number whether it is an even or odd number. This is how this program works using the if else block. So there is also another method. Okay, before that, I hope you guys understood this program very well. So there is also another method related to this program. Okay, there are two other methods. Let me discuss those as well in a very quick manner. Okay, so you need to very careful while writing this scanf function. You need to must specify the and symbol. This is ampersand symbol. Okay, why we are going to specify the ampersand symbol means ampersand followed by variable number will be treated as the memory location of that particular variable. Okay, it means while we are going to use the scanf function, when you are going to enter a number like this. Okay, for example, when I am going to enter a number 2 like this, then this particular 2 will be stored in the memory location of that variable number. Okay, to make sure that 2 should be stored in the memory location of the variable number, you must use the ampersand before it. Okay, why? Because the ampersand number will be treated as the memory location of the number. If you are going to use the number itself, then it won't store. Why? Because the number will be treated as the value of that number, right? But ampersand number will be treated as the memory location of that number. It won't treated as a value of that number. So I hope you got the difference. Okay, yeah, 2 is even number. So let me discuss again that point. Okay, just a second. Let me erase everything. For example, See, this is a memory. Okay, our int is a 32-bit, right? By default int is a 32-bit size. You don't worry, I am going to discuss 32-bit. Okay, int is a 32-bit size. There will be a memory location like this. Okay, in that memory location our value is, for example, 1. Okay, 1 is our value. Okay, we have taken number, right? Variable, we have taken a number variable, we have taken a number variable. Okay, it is a variable. When you are going to declare a variable number, then what happens is, in a memory location, for example, any location, for any location, let me treat it as 0th location or 10th location. Okay, 10th location. For this 10th location, randomly, okay, this 10th location will be allocated to this variable number. Okay, okay. Now, to call this 10th location, we don't know that for every case it will be a 10th location when we are going to declare the number. Okay, it may be a 11th location in some other case, it may be a 12th location in some other case, it may be a 13th location in some other case, right? We don't know what, in which memory address it is going to store, right? So that what we are going to do is, we are going to use a ampersand symbol before the variable. Okay, even though we don't know in which location it is going to store, we know what value is going to store. That is, in all the cases we can able to say that this particular number will be only stored, right? If you are going to take this number n number of times also, same value number will be stored, but we can't able to say that for all n number of times it will be stored in the same location. We can't able to say that. But for all n number of cases, the same number will be stored. Okay, but we can't give the guarantee that for all n number of cases the number will be stored in the 10th location itself. No, we can't able to give that guarantee, right? So that we know that number will be stored for all the n cases, but we don't know in which location it is going to store. So what we are going to do is, before this particular variable number, we are going to use the ampersand symbol. Okay, which actually indicate the location where this particular number is going to store. Okay, location where this particular number is stored. Okay, so whenever you are going to use the scanf function, you are going to use the %d. Why you are going to use the %d? Why? Because this number is a type of integer type. Okay, and you are going to use a parameter ampersand number. Why you are going to use the ampersand number means, this ampersand number will indicates where the number is got stored in the memory location. Okay, ampersand number will represent the memory location of the number. Okay, okay, whenever you are going to enter the number in the console, for example, whenever I am going to enter the number 2 and then enter, then what happens is, this particular number 2 will be stored in the ampersand number. What is the ampersand number here? It is the memory location of the number, right? Yeah, if you are going to use the number is not the memory location of the number. The number is the value of the number, right? The value of the memory location, value which you are going to store in the memory location. But ampersand number is the address of the memory location. In that address we are going to store the number. Okay, I hope you got this point. If you didn't got this point, don't worry, we are going to discuss in the theoretical part. Okay, yeah. So next what we are going to do is clear everything. Let me discuss the second method. The method 2 is nothing but using the ternary operator. Okay, in the method we have used the if else condition, right? For if else condition, how many lines we have to, let us see, we have taken total 6 lines. Okay, but using the ternary operator, all these 6 lines will be replaced using the single line itself. Okay, ternary operator is nothing but if else in single line. Okay, if else in single line will be treated as a ternary operator. Just remember like that. Okay, yeah. So before that, let me discuss some theory related to the ternary operator. Let me erase everything over here. Okay, yeah. So if you are going to see the ternary operator, let me use the black. Okay, ternary operator is nothing but it is a operator. Okay, which contains three operands. Okay, okay. First, you need to specify the condition. C means condition. CON. I'm going to use the condition. In this condition, whether you can able to use a variable itself, or you can specify any condition you want using the relational operators and the logical operators. Followed by you are going to use the question mark. Okay, you are going to use the question mark. It is the syntax. I am going to say that question mark. And then if this condition is true, the statement that is written after the question mark should be executed. Okay, and then we are going to write a statement after the stm stm1, for example stm true. Okay, stm, let me use underscore and then true. Okay, and true colon stm false. stm false means statement false. It means if the condition is false, then false statement need to be executed, semicolon. This is the code. This is the syntax for the ternary operator. You can see we have three operators, operands. That is, condition will be treated as an operand, and also statement true is also treated as an operand, and statement false is also treated as operand. And also you have two operators. One is question mark is an operator, and then colon is also an operator, where semicolon is a terminating statement. Okay, yeah. So let me discuss the code, then you can able to understand. Okay, what is meant by ternary operator. Okay, in a very detailed manner. So as usual, we are going to use the header file to use the printf and scanf function, and we are going to use the main function to start the program. We have taken a number to which we need to check whether it is a odd number or even number, in the like in the previous case as well. So we are going to print the number, enter a number. Okay, a statement we are going to use, and then we are going to use the scanf as usual. In the previous case, how we are going to use it. Yeah, now in the previous case what happens is we have used the if else condition, right? So instead of using this if else condition in the 6 lines, we can use a ternary operator in the one line itself. So what we are going to do is we are going to use a ternary operator like this. So the highlighted thing is a condition. Okay, number percentile 2 equal to 0 is a condition. Okay, it should be in the parenthesis. After we have used the question mark, if this particular condition is true, the statements that are written after the question mark should be executed. What is the statement that is written after the question mark is printf percentile e is a even number comma number. It means if you gonna see the condition number percentile 2 equal to 0, it means whenever a number is divided by 2, if the remainder is 0, then what is the number? Even number, right? So that I have used the printf statement to print the number as a even number if this condition is true. Okay, why you have not used the odd first? If someone have a doubt, why you are going to use the even number statement, printf statement first instead of using the odd number? Why? Because in the condition I specified the even number condition, right? Number percentile 2 equal to 0. Whenever when the number will be 0, when the remainder will be 0, when the number is divided by 2. Okay, or when the remainder will be 0, when the number is a even number, right? So then only we need to execute the true statements, right? So that I have written the statement after the question mark, followed by I have used the colon. Okay, I have used the colon followed by false statement, that is, if this is condition is false, if this condition is false, it will won't execute the statement after the question mark. Instead, it will execute the statement after the colon, that is printf percentage is a odd number comma number. This statement will be executed, and then last we have used the semicolon. You shouldn't use semicolon over here. Okay, you shouldn't use semicolon over here, it's a blunder mistake. You need to use the semicolon at the end of the line itself. Okay, yeah, let me execute the code for you. Before that, we have a statement, that is return statement, right? Return statement. Yeah, now the code is completed. Let me execute the code and see the output. Let us enter a even number, that is 42. 42 is a even number. What happens is, enter a number. We have entered a number 42. This 42 number will be stored in the memory location of the memory location pointing to the number variable, right? Pointing to the number variable in that memory location, this 42 will be stored. Whenever we are going to call the number, this 42 will be used. Okay, now 42 percentile 2 will be obviously 0, right? Why? Because we know that 42 is even number, so that it is true. So that what should happen is, after the question mark, whatever the statement is there, that is needed to be executed. After question mark, what is the statement that is there? That is printf percentage is a even number. Okay, where percentage d, what is the number value? That is 42, right? So that in this format where percentage d 42 will be replaced, and then we got the output as 42 is a even number. This is how this code is executed. Let me again run the program and then put the odd number, that is 55. So what happens now is, the 55 number will be stored in the memory location which is pointing to the number variable. Okay, whenever the number is called, the 55 will be used. Okay, why? Because in the number location 55 is stored with the help of the ampersand number which is pointing to the memory location of the number. Okay, 55 percentage 2, is 55 percentage 2 equal to 0? No, right? 55 is a odd number. We will get the remainder as 1. Then 1 equal to 0, is this condition true? It is false, right? So that the statement which is after the question mark won't execute. The statement which is after the colon will be executed by ignoring the statement which is after the question mark. Okay, what is the statement? That is percentage d is a odd number comma number. What is the number here? Now in this case the number is 55. So that instead of this format specifier percentage d, 55 will be used, and then we get the output as 55 is a odd number. Okay, this is how this program works. I hope you guys understood the program well. So for example, if you need to write this condition for the odd number, then what you need to do is, simply you just replace 0 with 1. Okay, whenever the number is divided by 2, if you are going to get the remainder as 1, then it will be treated as odd number, and then you need to replace this statement. Okay, replace the statement. Okay, you need to put odd here, you need to put odd here, and you need to put even here. Okay, you need to put even here, and then you just save it and rerun the program. Now if I am going to enter the 42, again you will get the same. Okay, 42 is a number, and then if I am going to enter the 55, again you will get the same number, same, that is 55 is a odd number. Okay, this is how you need to do this code. Sir, why you are going to use the one only? Why not any other number? Why? Because whenever a number is getting divided by 2, you will get either remainder as 0 or 1. Okay, there is no any other option to get as a remainder. Remember the point. For example, if I am going to use a 4, let us see what happens. We got 9 is an even number. it is behaving as a uh, unexpectedly, right? So it is not the case. What happening here is I understood it. I will explain this also. If I am going to use the 10, 10 is even number. Okay, if you are going to use the 3, it will come as odd number. See, it will come as odd number. Sorry, 3 is also an even number. Okay, yeah, it is behaving unexpectedly. Okay, so you shouldn't use any other number except 1 and 0. If you are going to use 1, then it will be treated as odd number condition. To check the condition whether it is an odd number or not, if you are going to use 0, then it is checking whether it is an even number or not. Okay, so let me use 1 here. In the previous class we have used the 0, right, in the if else. So let me use the 1 over here. Okay, this is how we are going to write using the ternary operator. This is the second way of writing the code for the this particular program. So let me go with another way of writing the code. Paste it, comment the code. The third way of writing the program of the order even, to check the number as a odd or even number, we are going to use the bitwise operator, bitwise on. Okay, let me discuss that program as well. Yeah, now we are going to use the bitwise operator to check whether the given number is even or odd. So as usual, what we are going to do is, first we are going to use a header file, hash include preprocessor directive, that is hash include stdio.h. We are going to include the standard input output library for using the scanf and printf function, and then we are going to use the main function. Okay, in that main function we are going to use a number which is of type integer. We are going to print a statement for the general need to make the code neat and good. We are going to use a statement, that is enter a number, and then we are going to use a scanf function to get the number from the user and store it in the location where the number, where the whose location is treated as a number. Okay, yeah, and then we are going to use the if statement. Okay, we are going to use the bitwise operator, that is AND, bitwise AND. Okay, we are going to do the AND operation of the number that is given, that is entered by the user with the value 1. If it is equal to 1, then the number will be treated as odd number, so that in the if block I am going to write odd number statement, printf statement, that is %d is a odd number. Okay, yeah, if it is not, then it will execute the else block. In the else block, the other case is even number, right? So I am going to use the printf statement to print that number as a even number, and then I am using the return 0 statement. So first let us execute this code, whether we are going to get the output in a good manner or not. Let us see that. Let me clear everything. So before executing any code, you must save the code. Don't forget to save the code. So I'm going to execute the program. So I'm going to use the 42. You got 42 is a even number, and you know that 42 is a even number. And then next I'm going to enter the 55. 55 is a odd number. Okay, it's working, right? So you just need to check two conditions. It's enough. It's more than enough. Okay, so let me discuss how this and bitwise AND operator will be helpful in this case of checking the odd and even numbers. Now, for example, I'm taking a number. Okay, I'm taking a number, very small number. Okay, let me take 16. Okay, let me take 16. So when you take this particular number 16, okay, let me assume that this number is a number that is entered by the user. Okay, that is entered by the user. Okay, now in the memory there will be one memory location. Okay, we don't know what is that address of that location. When you are going to declare a number, okay, when you are going to declare a number for any random location, the number will be assigned, the variable number will be assigned. Okay, this thing you guys know, right? Yeah, in that number, using this scanf function, using this scanf, we will ask the user to enter a number, and we will use the ampersand number, right? Ampersand number will be treated as the address of that location. Why? Because we don't know what is the actual address of that number location. Okay, right? So we use ampersand number, and then whenever the user enter the number 16, for example, okay, the number will be going to through the will be stored in the memory location. Okay, this is fine, right? So now the point is, how does the number is going to store, whether it is going to store in the decimal itself, whether it is going to store in the decimal itself, and how many number of bits the number is required to store. You need to get this point. Okay, no, it is not going to store in the decimal itself, it is going to store in the binary. The data will be stored in the binary, that is zeros and ones. Okay, zeros and ones is going to store in the binary format. Okay, and for integer, by default it requires 32 bits. Okay, it requires 32 bits. Okay, it requires 32 bits. Okay, if you are going to take this memory location, this is the 0th location of that memory location, and it is the 31st location of that memory location. Okay, this is a single location, this is a single memory location. That is, for example, our number is storing in the this location. Okay, again in that location, it is of size 32 bits. Okay, why it is size of 32 bits means, I'm assuming 32 bits. Okay, for example, I'm assuming that system word size is 32 bits, then it will be 32 bits. Okay, yeah. So what happens is, our 16 won't be stored as 16 in the memory, it will be stored in the binary. By converting this number 16 into zeros and ones, we are going to store the number in the binary in the memory location. For our number whose type is integer requires 32 bits of size. Okay, by default 32 bits. Okay, this is a memory location. Okay, this is a memory location, one memory location. Again, this memory location is divided into 32 different parts, and again these 32 different parts are having a location size internally, that is 0th location. This is 31st location. Now if you are going to convert this number 16 to binary, how you are going to convert this particular 16 to binary is nothing but you simply just divide this number by 2 8s, and the remainder will be 0, right? You need to write the remainder side, and then 2 4s 0, remainder is 0, right? And then 2 2s, remainder is 0, right? And then 2 1s, remainder is 0. Okay, now the value of 16 in binary is nothing but 1 4 zeros, 1 4 zeros. Okay, you need to take bottom to top. Okay, now how does this 1 4 zeros will be stored in the memory is 1 0 0 and then 0 and then 0. Okay, like this the number is going to store in the number memory location. Okay, number memory location. This is 0, this is 1th location of the memory location. This is 3rd, this is 4th. Okay, so it occupies 5 number of bits. Okay, remaining from 5 to 31 all will be occupied with 0. All will be occupied with 0. Why? Because in this case of 16 we are not going to use these bits. Okay, so that they are going to occupy with 0. Now, okay, like this, the number 16 will be stored in our memory location. Now you guys understood how the number will be stored in the memory location. Now what we are going to do is, what I want to make sure you guys to understand is how the bitwise AND operator is helpful to check the a number is a even or odd number. So how we are going to do is, so sorry, just a second. Okay, let me erase everything. So you have taken 1, right? 1 in the bitwise operator. What we have taken, just leave it. Okay, now what we have done is number number ampersand with 1. Okay, we have taken equal to 1. If it is equal to 1, then we have treated it as a odd number, right? We have treated it as a odd number. If it is not equal to 1, then it might be equal to 0, then it will be treated as a even number, right? So now we have a number that is 16, that is stored in the memory location like this. The single memory location, this is a single memory location. Again, this single memory location will be divided into 32 different parts. Why? Because integer is a by default 32-bit size, right? So that in the 0th location it will be 0, and first location will be 0, and second location will be 0, third location will be 0, fourth location will be 1, and then fifth location will be 0, and up to 31st location there will be zeros. Okay, why? Because 16 occupies only 5 bits. Okay, next. Okay, now what is this one is a decimal, right? What is the binary of this one? If you are going to do like this, okay, you just divide the number with 2, then you will get 0 1. Then what is the value of 1 in binary? 1 itself. Okay, how many number of bits does the 1 required to represent the value of decimal 1 in binary 1? Binary, we require only 1 bit. Okay, to represent this number 1, we require only 1 bit, that is 1 itself in the binary. Now to represent this particular 16 in the binary, how many bits that your guys required? You required total 5 bits. 10000, right? Total you required 5 bits. 10000, 10000. You required 5 bits, right? Okay, how many bits does this one required? Is 1 bit in binary to represent. Now what you guys are going to do is AND operation between this. You are going to do the bitwise AND. Okay, now what the compiler does is, the compiler simply ignores these bits. Compiler simply ignores these bits, and then it just performs to the last LSB bits only. It just performs the AND operation to the last LSB bits only, and then it will give the result as 0. Why? Because 1 and with 0 will be 0. Now we got the one number and with 1 is as 0. It is not equal to 1, right? If it is equal to 1, then what it is? It is the case of odd, right? If it is equal to 1, then it is treated as a odd number. But what we got? We got 0. It means it is not a odd number. It is an even number. And the number which we have taken is actually an even number, right? Which is 16. It is actually an even number. Okay, so that it will tell that 16 is a even number. Like this, it will work. Okay, so let us take a odd number, and then see the example. I hope you guys got the point. Let me take a odd number. For example, I am going to take some 15. Okay, I am going to take some 15. this particular 15 will require 4 bits, and we are going to represent 15 using the 4 bits in the binary. Those are 4 ones will be treated as 15. If you have any doubt, you just simply divide the 15 with 2. Okay, let me divide. 2 sevens are, okay, 2 sevens are, 1 is the remainder, and then 2 threes, 1 is the remainder, and then 2 ones, right, 2 ones, and then 1 is the remainder, right. Now if you are going to write from bottom to top, you will get 1 1 and then 1 and then 1. It requires 4 number of bits to store the 15 using the binary. Now what we are going to now how does this data is going to stored in the memory location is, it is going to store like this 1 1 1 and then 1. Okay, in the 4 locations, in the 4 locations of a memory location, okay, remaining all other locations will be stored with the 0, right. Memory all remaining all memory locations will be stored with the 0. Now what happens is, so now we are going to take this number 1 1 1 1 1 1 and then 1 1 1 1 1 and then we are going to take a 1, right. In our condition we have specified that, right, number and with, right, number and with 1 will be equal to 1 if it is equal to 1. Okay, we have taken this, right. So we have taken, so it will discard, the compiler will discard all these bits. Why? Because 1 we can able to represent in binary using only single bit. Okay, we just checking the last bit itself. It doesn't bother about what are the bits other than LSB. It doesn't bother. We are going to check only last LSB bit. 1 and with 1 will be 1. Okay, whenever 1 and with 1, that is the number and with 1 will be 1, then the number will be odd number. Now what the number that we have taken here is 15. 15 is obviously odd number, right, that we know. So from the both the cases, what we are going to conclude is, whenever number, for example, treat it as n and with 1, if you are going to get the value as 1, or if you are going to check this condition, okay, then it will be odd number. If this condition is true, then it will be odd number, else even number. Or whenever, you can also say in other words, whenever a number is going to perform the AND operation with 1, if you are going to get the resultant as 0, then you can able to say that the number is a even number, else odd number. So from this conclusion, what I am going to say is, for any odd number, the LSB bit will be 1. Okay, for any even number, the LSB bit will be 0 when you are going to represent those numbers in the binary. So whenever you are going to check the LSB bit using with the help of the AND operator, okay, you know that from this conclusion, what I have concluded, that for odd numbers the LSB bit will be 1, and for the even numbers the LSB bit will be 0. Whenever you are going to use the AND operation to check the LSB bits, already the number will be 1, right. So that whenever you are going to check the AND operation with 1, for the odd number the resultant will be 1, right. Why? Because already the LSB will be 1 and you are going to check the AND operation with the 1. So obviously the resultant will be 1, right. So it will be condition for the odd number. So similarly, whenever you are going to check with the even number, all the even numbers will be having the LSB as 0. So whenever you are going to check 0 and with 1, okay, it will be obviously 0, right. So whenever you got 0, then it will be treated as even number, and whenever you are going to get the 1, then it will be treated as odd number. So I hope you guys understood the point that I have discussed. Okay, so this is the code of the program using the 3 methods. Method 1 using the if else condition, method 2 using the ternary operator, method 3 using the bitwise operator. In the using bitwise operator also, you are going to use the if condition, if else condition to check the value, right? So this is how the code works. I hope you guys understood the point. Okay, you just write the logic. Okay, you just understand the logic, how this number and 1 equal to 1 is a true condition for the odd number, how the number and 1 equal to is a true condition for the even number. You just understand the concept that. Okay, and then you will get an easy way to write the code. So I hope you guys understood this point. Thank you guys.